So why use improv in your classes? That's the question, right? I mean, you've seen comedy sports maybe, maybe you've watched Whose Line Is It Anyway? Improv is just learning how to be funny, right? Wrong. I mean, sure, that's part of it, and sometimes funny situations arrive as a result of the improv exercises that we use, but it's not the main aim. Using improv with your students, in person or via Zoom, can cultivate things like active listening, communication, both verbally and non-verbally. You can help your students break through and smash their comfort zones, use their imaginations, come up with things they never imagined they could think of, and collaborate effectively with other people, all the while supporting and nurturing a bully-free zone in an environment where everybody works together, supports one another, and has each other's back. So no, improv ain't just about making jokes. There's a lot more. So stick with me, and I'm gonna talk about the top 3 reasons that I think you should explore improv as a great way to connect with your students and get them more engaged with you than ever before, whether in person or on Zoom. Stick with me. So number 1, improv creates a safe space for your students. And right here, right now, in this day and age, safety is uppermost on everyone's mind, right? Everyone's so distant from one another. Everyone's kind of weirded out by being on screens and whatnot. And by laying a foundation of trust and safety, you're gonna be amazed at how far you can get with these students. You're creating a judgment-free zone. You're creating an environment where everybody is looking out for one another and helping one another. You're helping students break through their comfort zones by allowing them the freedom to explore. You're showing how easy it is for people to just support each other instead of judge each other. And like I said, you're absolutely developing an anti-bullying environment because everybody is working together. It's never really about, hey, look at me, I'm a shining star, right? Because we're always working under the thesis of yes and. And what is yes and? Yes and is one of the underlying principles of improv. And what it means is that whatever comes before, whoever you're working with hands to you as a premise or a situation, you say yes, and you build on it. You don't negate what the other person says. You don't say in any way, shape, or form, that's a dumb idea. It's not really about that. It's actually about this. You go, yes, that's an exciting thing that you told me or showed me, and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it. And the more we can get students thinking along these lines and helping each other out and having each other's back, the more we are going to cultivate a community environment, a community where people are helping each other, where people are looking out for one another, or where people are really absolutely rooting and cheering and hoping for the best out of one another. So you are absolutely creating a safety through improv that children absolutely, positively always need, but now more than ever. Next, improv provides a multisensory experience for the students. And what does this mean? It means, first of all, it teaches effective listening, right? Because if you're not listening effectively, then you don't know what's happening and you don't know how to respond when the ball is passed to you. So you gotta be dialed in. You can't be checked out. You can't be a zombie just being like, what, right? You got to be on your toes and you got to expect anything to be handed to you at any moment. Pantomime is also another great activity for students, especially students with maybe motor skills difficulties, students who are perhaps a little more reticent to speak because maybe they have difficulties with speech. But by allowing them to tell a story without words, you're gonna give them a freedom to explore and create like they've never had before. They're not gonna worry about the words getting in the way because they're gonna have their body to use, they're gonna have their movement to use, and they're gonna have their faces to express emotions with. And this is another point. By observing others and their emotions, students learn how to interpret and express emotions themselves. So all of your senses are involved in this, and you learn how to ultimately be a much better communicator by exercising these skills daily. And finally, improv cultivates spontaneity and problem-solving skills in your students. By getting students to think outside the box in a judgment-free zone where they know they are safe to take risks and make choices and use their imaginations, knowing that everybody has their back and everybody is rooting for them to succeed, well, sky's the limit on the things that they discover. There are no right answers. There are 100 right answers. There are definitely no wrong answers, but they could find multiple ways of solving a single problem simply by knowing they're in an environment of safety, of security, of trust. And isn't that more of what we need right here, right now, to feel safe, to feel trusting? If we all felt the security that we could feel through improv, imagine what we could accomplish. But we're always so worried about what's so-and-so gonna think, or am I doing this right? I'm probably doing this wrong. I don't know anything. I'm stupid. I'm terrible, you know? But in improv, that's not the case, because we're all working together. It's a community, and it's always community before curriculum. And once we can establish this community in improv, we can take this community and we can apply it to our core lessons in other areas such as math, science, English, etc. But by creating this area of safety, it allows children to explore their minds in a way that otherwise they might not have been able to. Math, science, history, language arts. Look, there's no denying how important these subjects are. But without also cultivating skills of communication and self-expression, our children are never going to grow into adults who are as productive and successful as they can possibly be. So try these games out. I got a bunch on my channel to choose from. Give them a whirl. Let me know what works for you. Let me know what doesn't work for you. Comment down below. I would love to hear from you either way. You are going to be shocked at how instantly engaged students become. You're going to be surprised at the things that come out of their imagination, and you're going to be absolutely delighted as to how much fun they have, because right here, right now, in the midst of all this corona craziness and all this distance learning and everybody feeling separate from one another, what we need is a little bit of joy, right? Bring a little bit of fun back into the classroom, because without laying that foundation of fun, without making kids want to participate in class, math, science, history, language arts, they're not going to be ready for it. They're not going to be listening. So maybe prime your classes daily with a little game. Play a game with them. Talk to them. Listen to them. Because until you are behaving as a community who's working together and pulling together for one another, you're never going to be as successful when it comes to the core curriculum as you can possibly be. Hey, thanks so much for joining me today. If you got something out of this video, please do mash that like button, and I'll keep them coming. All right, be well out there, stay safe, take care of yourselves, take care of someone else. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.